So I was sitting here working on some stuff for next year's Valentine's Day, and I remembered briefly hearing about this incident taking place, but when I actually started looking into this just now a moment ago, I thought that this is absolutely insane. There's so many lessons to learn from this thing, and so let's take a look at this home invasion with this couple, their friend, their child. They're all home. It's a crazy ass one, and we will talk about lessons learned afterwards because there's just infinite things to take away from this for all my husbands, wives, couples out there.
Miami, Florida. Ansley Pacheco is a hugely popular Instagram and OnlyFans model who lives with her husband Daniel and a young son. On a Sunday evening, just before 9 p.m., the Pachecos arrive home in their upscale Miami neighborhood.
It was a complete ordinary day. We actually had ordered pizza and everything to watch the game with all our friends.
There's a knock on the door.
My friend goes and opens the door, and that's when the nightmare starts. My name is Daniel Pacheco.
My name is Ansley Pacheco, and we survived a home invasion and armed robbery.
I see a guy in front of me with a gun, and he tells me to get on the ground. I was shocked. At that moment, you have everything to lose. They got guns, and I realized, oh, we're getting robbed. They were making one of my friends take her jewelry off. The other guy, they were asking him for his jewelry, and they kept on repeating, where's the rest of your jewelry? I thought they were gonna shoot him.
And just as frightening for the Pachecos, their young son is on the couch as the attackers point their guns. Ansley is in the bedroom when she hears the commotion.
I went straight to the nightstand. I grabbed the gun and I opened my door.
Ansley knows her son is in the other room, but she thinks the assailants won't shoot if they know a child is in the room with her. Apparently, the assailants don't care. Daniel rushes to his wife and grabs the gun from her.
I see the guy shooting over my son's head and shooting at my wife. I was like, that's it, I gotta do something.
The bullets fired in front of me, and the one behind me, I actually felt the heat of it, which is the one that went through my TV. I wasn't scared at the moment. I just knew that I couldn't put the gun down because then I knew that maybe at that point we would have really been screwed.
The gun she grabbed is my gun. My gun is a 45, which she cannot pull the trigger.
You have to put your hand on the trigger and then at the same time, another part on the safety in order to shoot it, and I don't reach.
So that's even more brave of her, grabbing that gun, knowing that she can't even fire.
As the gunshots fly, chaos erupts. Daniel chases the suspects outside.
They start shooting at me. I start shooting at them. They were inside the car. Me was like 10 feet apart, like open. I could have been dead right now.
Inside, everyone rushes to safety. Ansley's friend runs into the bedroom. Ansley grabs her son.
Once I grabbed him, a big relief, came off my shoulders because I knew that he was okay. So I called 911 and I just told them, please get here fast.
Ansley has no idea if her husband or any of the other guests are still alive.
At that point, I didn't know where my husband was because I know he already had grabbed the gun from me.
Daniel is okay, and so are all the guests. Police arrive, but the suspects are gone. They review the footage and tell Ansley something disturbing.
The guy that was standing at the doorway of the house, he was holding a gun with an extended clip that is called a drum, which is 100 rounds. He could have overpowered everybody in the house. It could have been a massacre.
The home is riddled with bullet holes and property damage exceeds $6,000. The guests are robbed of over $100,000 in property, including a watch and a $50,000 gold chain.
I actually asked my husband, do you think they'll come back? What do you think is gonna happen now? you know. And he just said, no, don't worry about that.
The couple's son struggles too.
He actually didn't want to stay at the house for a couple days. He was staying at grandparents' house. He's better, and he's been sleeping in his room with the nightlight, but he's okay.
Ansley and Daniel are still processing the shooting.
We watch crimes on television all the time, but when it's happening to you or when it happens to a close friend or a loved one or whatever, you don't expect it. And I'm just speechless.
It haunts me that they're still out there and we don't know who they are.
But there's one thing Ansley and Daniel are certain of: each other.
For life, I'll be grateful for the wife I have. She's a hero to me, and I'm grateful that we're all safe.
I could count on him for anything. He's my best friend.
Police have yet to locate the men who broke into the Pacheco's home. The suspects remain at large.
All right, so the first lesson I want to take away from this is they had ordered pizza, hanging out with friends, so they're probably expecting a knock on the door, because some people might say, well, why don't you close your security gate there? Well, if they're waiting for a pizza to show up, maybe that's the reason why they don't have their security gate closed. Perhaps they have a buzzer or a bell out there on the security gate, which I would suspect, and if that's the case, then yeah, definitely could close that gate to, I don't know, at least deter or delay them. But they probably would have been pretty determined to get over that gate, but maybe perhaps then you could have detected them with your security cameras picking it up. And what I'm talking about here is the 4 pillars of home defense, which we immediately just start diving right into. So that could be the first thing, but overall, waiting for a pizza to show up, relax Friday night. Now, what's happening here is really confusing to me. They get a knock on the door, and you get this person. The friend opens the door, and I don't really understand what's going on here. Here we have the wife's female friend. Here we have the father and the son. And now this guy was the one who came running up in the driveway footage we just saw and comes running up in here with a gun. Like, I just don't understand why this guy's like walking away from the door. And also why he didn't just close the door in their face. But anyways, guy comes in, points a gun at him. Here we have this reactionary gap where it's going to take a period of time for everybody to even realize what's happening. Even this dude doesn't realize what's going on yet.
My name is Daniel Pacheco.
And basically, they start getting robbed. So let's go ahead and...
I see a guy in front of me with a gun, and he tells me to get on the ground. I was shocked.
So they end up snatching up, I think that's the chick. No, that's the dude. All right, so they snatch up the dude at some point, put him on the ground pretty quick, and then they get the dad on the ground, and the son is on the couch burying himself. The chick's probably on the ground over there in that area.
At that moment, you have everything to lose.
Huge ass drum, probably on a Glock or something. That's most commonly what we see. And what does that tell you? If I have a gang member or a robber, home invader, whatever it is, and they have a Glock, let's just say 17, with a drum, like an extended drum, like what that is right there, 100 rounds roughly, that's going to tell me a couple of different things. One, he's probably got a switch put on there, so I'm going to look for a switch. And then 2, this dude's like possibly packing some pretty heavy firepower. Now, it is easy to get those things to jam, perhaps, but it's also a Glock. I'm not going to bet my life on that. So this dude's probably pretty serious and here to do some business. Or at a minimum, he's got some decent hardware and he's just a complete freaking moron, which is just as dangerous.
They got guns and realize, we're getting...
Okay, cool. So they got the chick here. They've got the chick here on the ground. They got this dude right here. Guy with our drum right here. Dad on the ground. Kid on the couch. Yeah, this is a really horrible position to be in. Because, and that's when we talk about CQB, guys, close quarters battle, speed, surprise, violence of action. So these guys are exhibiting all 3 fundamentals. They got the speed, They got the surprise. They knocked on the door. The guy left the door open, literally turns around, lets them walk right in, and then violence of action. And the way that we counter this is with the 4 pillars of home defense, where we deter an enemy from wanting to break in. We delay them as much as we possibly can once they make the decision to make entry. We detect them prior to their attempt to make that entry, and then ultimately we defend or protect our home against that violence of action. But these guys got the jump on them here. This is probably the worst way to be invaded in your home, with just absolute speed, no resistance whatsoever, and the ability to be violent. This is a bad situation.
They were making one of my friends take her jewelry off. The other guy, they were asking him for his jewelry, and they kept on repeating, "Where's the rest of your jewelry?" I thought they were gonna shoot him.
And just as frightening for the Pachecos, their young son is on the couch as the attackers point their guns. Ansley is in the bedroom when she hears the commotion.
I went straight to the nightstand. I grabbed the gun and I opened my door.
So first and foremost, gun in the nightstand. Sure, make sure you at least have something keeping it from, the kid just getting a hold of it. Primarily education, educating your kids. Now, props to her because she's capable of cocking this firearm, and as we found out, it's a .45 caliber firearm, and so it's probably, I'm thinking, like a 1911, especially the way they describe how you have to have the palm safety grip and reaching around. But we'll get to that here shortly. So major props to her for being able to do that. Now, allowing the adrenaline, and I am not faulting anybody for anything whatsoever in this at all, guys. This was very well done for these people. They fell back to the greatest level of training that they have had. I mean, they did an incredible job. This is nothing against them whatsoever. I'm not sitting here trying to critique them at all. I'm just trying to learn the lessons from this experience so that maybe they, if they ever see this, can benefit from it, but that you guys can also benefit from it as well. Because again, this is such an incredible gold mine of just information. So we get pumped up, adrenaline, we cock the gun. Now we're even twice as amped because that's like the movie thing. And you legitimately have something going on. So what does she do? She opens the door, and now she's standing where? Right in the fatal funnel. I would have definitely turned these lights off, guys, because now I'm in the back room. We got the gun, turn the lights off, not openly cocked it like that, because I want to have speed, surprise, and violence of action against somebody else now if I have to defend, because that's what falls underneath the defense part of the pillar. Opening the door aggressively, I would have just done it gently, let it creep open, and if you can, you want to stand in the back portion of the room. Now, kind of hard to do here. You've got the bed. Maybe I would have literally been standing on the bed or right in front of the bed and then just tried to pie myself over to look to see what was happening down the hallway. I would have seen my friends on the floor because you've got that woman and that guy. I would have possibly even seen the guy with the drum standing on top of my friend, and immediately I would have shot that guy right in the head. That would be the first thing that I would do. I digress. Now, she doesn't have the gun up, so that's obviously a problem, and she's right on the door, so again, she could easily be overpowered.
Ansley knows her son is in the other room, but she thinks the assailants won't shoot if they know a child is in the room with her. Apparently, the assailants don't care.
Wow, so 1, 2, 3, 4. They fire multiple shots. This is probably to do with the drum. Fires multiple shots down the fatal funnel, right where she's standing. She's very, very lucky she did not get hit, man. And then what happens here is a bullet goes through the TV behind her. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That bullet went through multiple layers of drywall, then went through their TV right behind her. If she would have over panicked and turned around and started running, she might have got clipped. And that's something to be aware of as well. This is either chance, or this is either some dude that's actually pretty experienced in shooting people. Because when I'm engaging a target, like an enemy combatant or a violent assailant, a criminal, I'm not just aiming, like I'm not just pointing it at them and that's that. because then they're going to start to run or move, and I'm just going to be trailing them the entire time. So once an engagement begins, I'm also predicting where they're about to take off and go to, so I can lead that person and trace them and make contact and shoot them. Could that have been getting done here? Because he fires some shots and then just starts shooting through all the drywall because he figures she's going running in that direction. It's possible. That definitely could have turned out way different. And she's just very lucky she was right in that perfect threshold of like just not being shot. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. But could have been avoided if she would have had the lights off, opened the door the way that I suggested, had some standoff, had the ability to actually shoot this gun, because we'll learn here in a moment she didn't, and engaged that initial threat with one single headshot. And then I would have stood still and just basically began my assault forward, in a slow, methodical movement, moving from one room to the other room to the other room, not just walking blindly down the hallway, but
and grabs the gun from
I see the guy shooting over my son's head and shooting at my wife. I was like, that's it. I gotta do something.
The bullets fired in front of me, and the one behind me,
they're just doing what they're doing. He's running down the hallway to get the gun. It's just...
actually felt the heat of it, which is the one that went through my TV. I wasn't scared at the moment. I just knew that I couldn't put the gun down, because then I knew that maybe at that point we would have really been screwed.
The gun she grabbed is my gun. My gun is a 45, which she cannot pull the trigger.
You have to put your hand on the trigger and then at the same time another part on the safety in order to shoot it, and I don't reach.
This is a really important lesson to learn for all my couples out there. Guys, ladies, don't assume, ladies, that, well, my husband has a gun, so if I ever need it, I'll just use it. Make sure that you are capable of shooting it. This woman right here, in the worst situation possibly imaginable in her life, husband, friends, kid are out there with armed criminals who just did a home invasion violently. Like, she can't even defend herself. She can't even fight back. She can't even take that shot because she just physically cannot do it. So make sure that you train with your husband's guns. Husbands, make sure you buy your wives a gun. And I don't just say that because I am an FFL, but legitimately, if you want to have the ability to be defensive, this is what you need. It's just like a requirement.
So that's even more brave of her, grabbing that gun knowing that she can't even fire.
As the gunshots fly, chaos erupts.
So just to kind of understand the layout of the home here. So this is the front door. Oh, this is the bedroom. So she would have seen this guy without the drum right here, and that's a pretty close distance. I thought she was down over here to the left. So that's actually, here go the two guys. The bad guys probably ran out. This dude's just standing there. This chick's taking off.
Let's fly.
So, yeah, I'm a little confused. I think there's maybe even another friend there because I have no idea who... The original friend is this guy with the sandals on, the Birkenstocks. I don't know who this second guy in the black is because the dad was here and then the chick was there. So there must have been another friend in the bathroom or something. And, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adults, 2 against 5.
I start shooting at them. They were inside a car. Me was like 10 feet apart, like...
Now, this is, as messed up as this sounds, this is where you run into questionable actions with legalities. And this is California, too, which I'm very surprised that he didn't face any charges, because the moment that you go pursuing after somebody in the United States and you begin to engage them, now you're technically becoming the aggressor. And I know that this is crazy, and you've just got to be... especially as a man, as a husband, as a father, when you just had gunshots in your own home after you're being invaded, over your own children, at your wife, like they're trying to kill your wife actively. I don't know. I don't know what to tell somebody. I'm not going to say, well, you can't go chasing after them. I'm not going to say that you should go chasing after them. I'm just going to say that it will be hard, given our legal system, to justify those actions. But I could tell you that you'll probably never have peace knowing that those people are still out there, because you're going to be so scared and worried that they're going to come back, which these guys actually do talk about here in a little bit. So just understand that, guys. There's ego and necessity. I don't know if this is ego. I don't know if it's necessity. I don't know if maybe it's a blend of both. I don't know. Maybe it's not that black and white.
I could have been dead right now.
Inside, everyone rushes to safety. Ansley's friend runs into the bedroom. Ansley grabs her son.
Once I grabbed him, a big relief, came off my shoulders because I knew that he was okay. So I called 911 and I just told them, please get here fast.
Ansley has no idea if her husband or any of the other guests.
So on that, guys, ladies, having a backup firearm in that safe space, like that designated safety area of your home, back corner closet of the master bedroom, whatever it is, having a secondary weapon there is really beneficial, because now in this situation, she doesn't know if they're alive or dead. She can go back to the designated safe area of the home and basically just stand by with her own weapon system capable of still defending herself.
Are still alive.
At that point, I didn't know where my husband was because I know he already had grabbed the gun from me.
Daniel is okay, and so are all the guests. Police arrive, but the suspects are gone. They review the footage and tell Ansley something disturbing.
The guy that was standing at the doorway of the house, he was holding a gun with an extended
with a drum,
tip
100
that
rounds.
was called a drum, which.
So $6,000 of property damage, lots of lessons learned. The criminals are still out there. Take from that what you can, guys. I give them major props. They did a very good job. Lots of things that could be improved upon so that it never happens again, or if it does happen again, they have a better system in place, or a system in place, to actually defend their home against, without a doubt, which is one of the worst experiences of a human's life. So let me know your thoughts, what questions you may have, and that's it.